Afternoon, boys. Right, got to make this quick. Got a meeting. So let's get into this as quickly as possible. We're going to start with looking at the difference of two squares. Now, I've hinted and touched at this on lessons, but literally, it's the difference of two squares. One square, take away another square. That's how you recognise it. Once you've recognised it's the difference of two squares, the question becomes dead simple. It's the simplest maths you can do with quadratic equations and factorising. So, let's say I've got x squared minus 4. Well, when I factorise that, that's just x plus 2 times by x minus 2. Now notice, I knew x squared minus 4 was the difference of two squares because x squared is a square number and 4 is a square number. And there's that minus sign, so it's the difference of two square numbers. Right, before we go in, the first word you're looking for is Dragon's Den. Next. Okay, how can we check that this is right? Well, we could check it by expanding. So I could use the box method. This would be x times brackets x minus 2 plus 2 times brackets x minus 2. Check you're happy with that. And then finally, or penultimately, expanding that left bracket gives you x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 4. Okay? Those minus 2x and that plus 2x cancel, leaving me with x squared minus 4. I checked it, it was right, boom, done. Okay, next. Let's look at this question. Oh, by the way, it's testimonial. So, 25x squared minus 9. I'm going to factorise that. How do I factorise it? Well, it is literally the difference of two square numbers. 25x squared is a square, and 9 is a square. Okay, have a think to yourself. Pause the video for a moment. See if you can work it out. Can you work it out? Pause it, pause it, pause it, pause it. And we're back. Right, so the answer should be brackets 5x minus 3. Oh, God, I hate it when that happens. Okay, let's go back. The answer should be 5x minus 3, 5x plus 3. Okay, is that right? Well, let's check it. You should check it yourself. Check it yourself now. Pause it, check it yourself. Check it yourself, check it yourself. Go. So, expand it gives us 5x times by 5x plus 3 minus 3 times by 5x plus 3. Expanding the left bracket gives us 25x squared plus 15x. Expanding the right bracket gives us minus 15x minus 9. Now notice the 15x's cancel, and we're left with 25x squared minus 9. We checked it, it was correct. Boom. Right, it's a hopscotch. That's the scotch. Next. Factorise 16x squared minus 25. Do that yourself, see if you get it right. Pause it, go. 4x minus 5 times by 4x plus 5. Hopefully you can see how this is going. Check it now. I'm not going to check it for you. Check it now though. Right, next question. 81 x squared y squared minus 49. Now notice how these are still two square numbers. 81x squared y squared is square and 49 is square. Think about it, try it yourself, and then you get the answer 9xy minus 7 times by 9xy plus 7. So next question then, I want you to factorise 36x squared minus 25. Much more simple. See if you get the answer right. I don't think I'll write the answer down, but maybe do this for homework. Show me that you got it right in the lesson. Okay? What is it? Two brackets. Okay. Next. We're going to look at the quadratic formula. Now this is a fantastic formula, and we're going to discuss why it's so fantastic and tell you how it works. So let's say we've got this question. 3x squared plus 9x minus 5 is equal to 0, and you're asked to solve. Before we solve it, it's boom with 2 exclamation marks. Okay? We're going to solve this. Now what does it mean to solve something? What does it mean to solve something? What does it mean? Think. Well, it means we want to find a value of x, or values of x, which works. We want to find a value or values of x which work. So our current tactic is first, step 1, to factorise. And then to solve. So that's our tactic at the moment. But I hear you ask, but what if it doesn't factorise? What if it doesn't we've only met things that factorise so far, but what if it doesn't factorise? Okay? By the way, the time is 15:20. What if it doesn't factorise? That's the question I hear you ask. Well, in order to find the values of x which work, we have this magic formula. This magic formula called the quadratic formula. Now, you will not really understand why or how it does what it does, but it does it. It tells you which values of x work in literally any quadratic equation, apart from a couple. Literally any quadratic equation. Any quadratic equation you meet can be solved using the quadratic formula. Okay, it's magic. Remember that. Now this is the quadratic formula coming up. It is. We're solving, so we're finding the values of x which work, and the values of x which work are these values. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, good news for you is you don't have to remember that. It's in the formula booklet. But you will have to use it correctly. Now, what is that a, what is that b, what is that c, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you in a second, after I tell you that the year is 1998. So, what is that a, what is that b, what is that c? What do they mean? Well, a is the coefficient of x squared, so in the question, a is 3. b, you guessed it, the coefficient of x, and c, well, it's the units term, so it's minus 5. A is 3, b is 9, c is minus 5. Now, all I do is I substitute those numbers in to the quadratic formula. Now you have a calculator. You can just plug this into your calculator. You would do the plus value first, and then you do the minus value. So that plus or minus there is two solutions, two possible ideas. You either plus or you minus. Okay, so I would substitute in, so b is 9, so I get minus b plus or minus 9 squared minus 4 times by 3 is a, and c is minus 5, all over 2 lots of 3. Now this is just substitution. I've given you a magic formula, you don't know where it's come from, it's just come out of thin air, and then you just substitute these numbers in. Okay? Now notice how a is the stuff highlighted in green, A is the stuff highlighted in orange, B is in green, and C is in yellow. I can simplify the stuff under the square root sign, so it's 81 minus 60. Check you agree with that. Minus 4 times 3 times minus 5. Yep, 60. All over 6. Okay, simplifying the square root again. Minus 9 plus or minus the square root of 141. All over 6. All over 6. Now this is what x is. X is these two values. Minus 9 plus square root of 141 over 6. Or minus 9 minus the square root of 141 over 6. Putting this into calculator, you get two possible answers. The first answer, when you add the square root, is 0.479 with lots of decimal places. Or, when you do the minus square root, you get minus 3.479. This was just an overview of the quadratic formula. So in summary, to solve a quadratic equation, if it doesn't factorize, you can use the quadratic formula, and that will give you the values of x which work in the original equation. Now these values will tend to be decimal numbers because, as you can see, the square root of 141 is not going to be a nice whole number. Okay, I'm really sorry about all of this stuff, and I can only apologise. Hopefully you can fill out all the forms, and I think there's one more answer that you're probably looking for, and that is bon voyage. Thank you so much for watching. You've been a great audience.